For God so loved the world, that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. For God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. He that believeth on him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already, because he hath not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God.
One issue that really grabbed me as urgent were issues related to population.
In 1998, Dr. Zabin became the founding director of the Bill and Melinda Gates Institute for Population Control.
Dr. Zabin became the founding director of the Bill and Melinda Gates Institute for Population Control.
We see a lot of things that are going very well, things like reducing childhood death, reducing childhood death, reducing childhood death, reducing childhood death. And
things like reducing childhood death and
first, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
now if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
And what the developing world does not need is more children.
And I think that was the biggest aha to Bill and me when we got into this work, is we asked ourselves, of course, the same hard-nosed question you'd ask, which is, if you get into this work and you start to save these children, will women just keep overpopulating the world? And thank goodness the converse is absolutely true.
But did you come to reproductive issues as an intellectual?
When I was growing up, my parents were always involved in various volunteer things. My dad was head of Planned Parenthood, and it was very controversial to be involved with that.
My dad was head of Planned Parenthood.
There are two kinds of abortion: in-clinic abortion and medication abortion, also known as the abortion pill. You can usually take the abortion pill during the first 11 weeks of pregnancy. Then the
word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee. And God spake all these words, saying, Thou shalt not kill. These 6 things doth the Lord hate, yea, 7 are an abomination unto him: a proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood.
At 11 weeks pregnant, your baby's facial features are becoming more defined. The ears are moving toward their final position on the sides of the head, and the eyes, which are set wide apart, are now covered with fused eyelids. Though your baby is active, somersaulting and stretching, you likely won't feel these movements until around 16 weeks. As you approach the end of the first trimester, all of your baby's vital organs are in place and functioning. The liver is producing red blood cells, the kidneys are making urine, and the pancreas is starting to produce insulin. The heart, now fully formed with 4 chambers, beats steadily. At this stage, your baby is about the size of a lime. measuring around 1.61 inches or 4.09 centimeters from head to bottom and weighing about 1.59 ounces or 45 grams.
Video is under a special microscope. It's an egg and showing the moment of conception. The moment the sperm enters the egg, there is now documented source of light that enters the egg. The moment of conception, the very moment that the sperm enters the egg, there is a flash of light, and the light has entered the world. Just as when Jesus was placed in the womb of Mary, the Virgin, God himself gave his son, and the light came into the world.
If you're more than 11 weeks pregnant, ask your nurse or doctor about in-clinic abortion. When you use the abortion pill, you actually take two different medicines to end a pregnancy, mifepristone and misoprostol. First, you'll take mifepristone. Mifepristone works by blocking the hormone progesterone, which stops your pregnancy from developing. Then you take the second medicine, misoprostol, either right away or up to 2 days later. This causes cramping and bleeding that empties your uterus. The cramping and bleeding can last for several hours, so plan ahead to make the process more comfortable. You can be at home or wherever is comfortable for you to rest.
And hands that shed innocent blood.
The problem is that the population is growing the fastest where people are less able to deal with it. So it's in the very poorest places that you're going to have a tripling in population by 2050. And so their ability to feed, educate, provide jobs, stability, protect the environment in those locations mean they're faced with an almost impossible problem. Here we can see a chart that looks at the total world population over the last several hundred years. And at first glance, this is a bit scary. We go from less than 1 billion in 1800, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.4 billion where we are today is happening even faster. So Melinda and I wondered whether providing new medicines and keeping children alive, would that create more of a population problem? First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%. This is a very important question to get right because it was absolutely key for me. When our foundation first started up, it was focused on reproductive health. That was the main thing we did because I thought, population growth in poor countries is the biggest problem they face. You've got to help mothers who want to limit family size. You've got to help mothers who want to limit family size have the tools and education to do that. And that's the only thing that really counts. Is spending $1 million on that last 3 months of life for that patient, would it be better not to lay off those 10 teachers and to make that trade-off in medical costs? But that's called the death panel, and you're not supposed to have that discussion. As you improve health, within a half generation, the population growth rate goes down. As you improve health, within a half generation, the population growth rate goes down. As you improve health, within a half generation, the population growth rate goes down. If we improve health rapidly, we will get the peak population to be as much as 1 billion below the current expected peak. That is about 8.3 billion versus 9.3.
When I think about our values as Americans, when I think about what we care about or the dignity of life, the dignity of life, the dignity of life.
And what the developing world does not need is more children.
And I think that was the biggest aha to Bill and me when we got into this work.
The foundation is celebrating its 25th anniversary, and so it's a chance to look back and say, wow, we've exceeded our expectations. We took as our biggest cause saving children's lives. We have a lot of innovations in the pipeline. I know there'll be rich people 20 years from now for whatever we don't get done, they'll understand the geopolitics or the AI at that time. And so, I'll have until I'm 90, and then I'll get to retire. We have things in the pipeline. So, huge change in the mortality rates in developing countries, which then has this effect of reducing population growth. That's this big benefit that then makes everything like education and nutrition a lot easier. So I have very high expectations there, and we actually use these dashboards internally at the foundation to make everything be quite numeric. A report card tells you how well you're doing, what subjects you're mastering, and what subject you may need to work harder on. The world also has a report card, which is called the Millennium Development Goals. They grade us on how we're helping the poorest in the world. Overall, our marks are quite positive. If you think about a child born today versus one back in 2000, things have gotten a lot better. Many fewer children are dying. Many fewer families are living in extreme poverty. A lot more kids are going to school. But we still have a lot of work to do. We need to pick a new set of goals to help us stay focused on improving the lives of children. Next year, the world will discuss what that next set of goals should be. It's a huge opportunity to pick the priorities for 2015 to 2030. I'm interested in what you think our priorities for the poor should be for this 15-year period. Send us your thoughts. I look forward to seeing them.